not too bad, and keeping in mind the fact that the fourth and final movie won't be out till March of next year. So there you go. Allegiant. 7 out of 10. So that's the only movie I wanted to talk about for this episode. Another thing I want to talk about that's been in the news, well, I just came across today on Facebook and also on Twitter, the comedian Kat Williams, I guess supposedly was recently in a fight with some 12-year-old kid, or I mean, I don't know the exact age of the kid because I've already seen so many different posts and articles saying that he's 12 or he's 13 or he's only 14 or he's in 7th grade, he's in 8th grade. So let's just say he's not 18, so it's so yeah, he's a kid. And so Kat Williams, I guess he was playing soccer with a group of kids in somewhere. Again, I'd forget exactly what. Well, I didn't pay too much attention to the details because I thought it was some kind of hoax or something. But then I came across the unedited video footage, and it just looked like this kid, because Kat Williams was playing soccer with just a bunch of kids for no real reason, which I thought was pretty cool. I guess, I don't know, he was just like, I mean, I don't know if they asked him, or if he volunteered to play with them or something, or if he just showed up and then just suddenly started playing with them. I don't know. But however it happened, it happened, and so he started just playing soccer with a bunch of kids. And I guess once the game was over, or when they were like taking a break or something, he started walking away, and then this kid started following him. And it looked like the kid was, maybe like insulting him. This kid was, I don't know, he was definitely antagonizing him. That's what it looked like to me. If you haven't seen it, you could just go ahead and look it up. Google it, search on Facebook, on Twitter. It's all over. It's all over there right now. So until eventually, Kat Williams just kind of like went up against some building and then sat down on the ground, and the kid was kind of like telling him to get up, or one of his friends was telling him to get up, and then I still couldn't really hear what he was saying, but he was definitely like making fun of him, and and then Kat Williams just had enough, and then he punched the kid in the face. And it was a pretty quick punch, and granted, it didn't look like a really powerful punch, but it was a punch nonetheless. And unfortunately, it happened. And then the kid tackled him to the ground and got him in like some kind of holds, like bear hug style kind of holds, and I don't know. And then I don't know if one of Kat Williams' bodyguards or just one of the other adults who was there then pulled the kid off of Kat Williams and whatnot. But still, I mean, Kat Williams, he struck the kid once, which I don't think he should have done at all, but he did. So now, I mean, and some people are saying that, he got his ass kicked by a kid, by a 12-year-old or 13-year-old, or he got his ass kicked. And they're saying, he's a wimp or weak or blah, blah. And I would say, yeah, I kind of thought that too. But then when I thought about it a little longer, then, for me, I realized, I said, hey, well, it could have been that immediately after he punched the kid, I mean, no doubt regretted it, or for whatever reason, regretted it in some way. And then after that refused to, refuse to punch him again or, do anything worse to the kid, which obviously makes sense. I mean, so, I mean, that's the way I see it. I don't know. It's not so much that he couldn't defend himself, but it was more that, he didn't want to because of the fact that he had already punched the kid in the face and it already looked bad. It still looks bad for him, but, granted, the fight was stopped and it could have been a lot worse. It wasn't. So, there you go. Whatever happens, whatever comes next from it, I mean, I don't know. Nobody knows. Who knows what's going to happen? I don't know. The kid's parents are going to sue Kat Williams or attempt to sue him, or they'd be well within their rights to do so, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. And then, of course, I mean, for those of us, I mean, from what I know, it's not Kat Williams' first altercation or a crazy outburst or whatever. I mean, I don't know what's been going on. I don't know what's been going on with that guy. Obviously something, yeah, maybe, it's just, the pressures of being a public figure catching up to him or something. I don't know. Because that's one thing I think that most of us forget, for those of us who aren't, in the public eye on a daily basis. And even then, just because, a lot of us have, even if we have a strong presence on social media, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're, in the public eye 24/7 or practically 24/7. So these guys, like the comedians and actors, actresses, and musicians and other performers, we tend to forget that, for them, they're much more prominent in the mainstream of things. So obviously, I mean, how could that not affect you? How could that not affect your daily way of life? I mean, how could it not? I know it does. I mean, so nowadays, if somebody just becomes YouTube famous, that alone can affect somebody in a very real way. It can affect somebody in a positive way or a negative way. It just depends on how the person uses it, how other people respond to that person. There's so many different factors, and that's the other thing. That's another thing too. For all we know, every single person, every single public figure could be having to deal with so many other things, so many other issues, so many other temptations behind the scenes, that we, the public, have no idea about. And, so, I mean, I don't know what's, that's how I feel. I really don't think, as far as fame is concerned, it's a very impermanent thing, and it doesn't last forever, if at all. I don't know. That's how I feel. And I'm not saying that I agree that Kat Williams should have punched that kid in the face, even though I know a lot of people kind of do agree. I don't believe that he should have, but he did. So now he's got to deal with the repercussions of it. He's got to, just face whatever comes his way next. So, nothing new about that. I mean, I don't know. That's what I think. So, the only other thing I wanted to talk about was, of course, the movie Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice is coming out in theaters tomorrow, although I guess technically midnight today. And yesterday I was surprised to see already so many different critics and movie reviewers and YouTubers. So many people have already given it such bad reviews, and I don't know, I was surprised by that. But then I came across one guy on YouTube, and again, I forget his name. I guess he's not a very prominent presence on YouTube, but he does have, a significant number of subscribers and followers. But yesterday he uploaded a video where he talked about the movie, and he saw, of course, I guess, an advanced showing. And he said that, well, according to him, he claimed to be a lifelong Superman fan, and not only that, but a lifelong DC Comics fan. And he said that not to pay attention to all the negative reviews, and because he said that to him it seems like there's this intentional smear campaign taking place, I guess, against Batman vs. Superman, against the movie, primarily because it has something to do with some kind of connection, whether intentional or unintentional, some kind of connection with Marvel, with all the Marvel movies that are due to come out in the following months. And essentially he said that he's convinced that there's a smear campaign against this movie because of the fact that Marvel has so many more movies coming out this year, just this year alone. And they're doing everything they can to, I guess, squelch or, keep people from going to see Batman vs. Superman. So I don't know. But he did seem really excited about it. I mean, he didn't give away any spoilers, but he did say that it's awesome. He said that he did, of course, point out that there were some things about it that kind of, shouldn't be in the movie, but at the same time, he was quick to point out that the fact that, it's a new movie, and it's, even though it's adapted from the comic books, and it's not following the same DC comic universe to the T. It's not following exactly. It's an adaptation, a reimagining, a different kind of version. But I don't know, according to him, he said it was awesome, not to pay attention to the negative reviews and whatnot. So, which I gotta admit is kind of hard for me because, well, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I definitely plan on talking about it, reviewing it. I do plan on reviewing it thoroughly once I see it. So yeah, I guess that would be my advice to the rest of you DC Comics fans. I guess for me, I've always, even though I like Marvel, I like the Marvel comic books. I like the comic books, Marvel heroes and whatnot. Never really been much of a fan of the Marvel movies. I don't know why. I mean, they're okay. They're kind of cool, the effects and all that. But for me, it's just, I mean, Batman's always been one of my favorite characters. It has been since I was 6. So, there you go. Don't pay attention to all the negative reviews, and definitely after I see it, I will review it thoroughly. So that'll do it for this episode of the Noise Man Podcast. Till next time, Keep it real.